Little things about trains. A lot of aspects of hopping trains, you'd have to learn firsthand, and it can't be all explained. You got to know from experience. Now, I see people are going to ride regardless, so I might as well do some harm prevention here. Trains speak to you. They make certain noises, and you can interpret that noises as to what the train is doing or going to do. I'll give the best example: air brakes. This isn't always the case, but 9 out of 10 times, when a brake's applied to a train stopping, you will hear a ticking noise. Whether it's before it stops, or while it's stopping, or after it's stopping, you'll hear a tick, 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 tick. That's the brakes applying. And it won't move until it airs up, is what the noise is called, till it hesses, releases the air. Psss, which is releasing the brakes. It won't move until it does that. Now, this isn't always the case, because it really depends on the air hole. Sometimes you don't hear that ticking noise at all, but the brakes do apply, and you wouldn't notice. I missed many trains doing this because, better safe than losing a limb. And, if a train doesn't make that noise when it stops, there's a good chance that the brakes aren't applied, and it could suddenly jolt and move at any time. I'm not saying whether condoning getting on it or not. It's just for harm prevention. I would say if the train doesn't make that noise and it stops, get on at your own risk. If you're going to get on, just be prepared for a sudden jolt. Be prepared that it's going to move any second. Boom! And it'll catch up speed pretty quick. Maybe, maybe not. Just be prepared for it to jolt. Not always, though. Sometimes it won't make that noise. Sometimes it'll just sit, the brakes are applied, and you hear the ticking. But majority of the time, you do hear ticking. Of course, others are obvious. If you're on a moving train, you hear the screeching noise, that means it's turning. That's very obvious. Never touch the knuckle, never get on the knuckle, especially while it's moving, because slack action is a thing. Trains also make a lot of thumping and thudding noises because they're steel, and if there's change in the pressure, the steel will change in pressure and make those noises. So, if a train stops, it'll make that thumping noises. And it's not anything mechanical, it's just steel. A lot of people misinterpret that as something mechanical. Also, if you hear a loud pop noise, like a psh, that usually means the lead engine was broken off the train, and that means a number of things. Either they're working the train, they're dropping the string off, or they're dropping something off, or there's a mechanical issue that caused the air hose to break. And other things I could say is when you're going into a yard, the sound that the tracks make, you could tell whether or not it's on the main line just by the sound. Majority of the time, not all the time, because usually main lines are a continuous rail. Not all the time, but majority of the time. And yard tracks are split rail, so you hear a click, clack, click, click, clack, clack, click, clack, 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 click. That usually means you're on a yard track. Not all the time, though. This is some of the time, majority of the time, but not all the time, because there's always instances that are different. I don't condone train riding. I don't condone it, or I don't disapprove it. I don't have any opinion on it. This is just for harm prevention and safety only. If you're gonna do it, don't be fucking stupid. Don't do drugs. Don't get drunk, especially don't eat acid while doing it. Don't do anything like that that could alter your mind doing it, because you can get really fucking hurt and die, lose a limb, whatever. Don't take any unnecessary risks. Don't be fucking dumb again. Don't ride suicide, which is a ride with no porch where you could sit on. A reasonable porch where you can lay on or sit on and hide. If there's none on that, don't take the risk. I won't, because it's better being stuck somewhere for another day than losing a fucking limb, especially if you have an animal. Don't take risk. It's not worth it. It's stupid. But again, I'm not condoning it. I'm just giving safety tips.